How did a brilliant lawyer transform his life to become one of the most influential saints of the Catholic Church? The journey of Saint Alphonsus Maria de Liguori is a story of faith, sacrifice, and unwavering dedication. From the luxurious law offices to the humble rural chapels, the life of Alphonsus is a powerful testimony to the power of conversion and total surrender to God. Alphonsus Maria de Liguori, a name that resonates through the centuries, did not begin his life as a saint. His transformation from a successful lawyer to a devoted spiritual leader is a saga of inner struggle and divine revelation. Prepare for an inspiring journey through the life of this extraordinary man. Alphonsus Maria de Liguori was born on September 27, 1696, in Marianella, near Naples, Italy. He was the eldest son of Giuseppe and Anna Maria Caterina Cavalieri. From an early age, his deeply religious and prestigious family instilled in Alphonsus solid values and a strong devotion to the Catholic faith. From a young age, Alphonsus demonstrated exceptional intelligence and an inclination towards spirituality. His education was carefully planned to include both academic and religious learning. He received a comprehensive education, excelling in classical studies and a deep understanding of the Christian faith. At 16, he was already a doctor of civil and canon law, an impressive achievement for someone his age. This early accomplishment reflected not only his intelligence but also the family pressure to achieve great things. His father, Giuseppe, had high expectations for his eldest son, hoping he would become a renowned lawyer. Alphonsus grew up in an environment of wealth and privilege but always felt an inner restlessness. This restlessness, which he later interpreted as a divine call, would accompany him throughout his youth, shaping his decisions and destiny. His mother, Anna Maria, played a crucial role in shaping his faith, influencing his spiritual choices. Although his life seemed destined for material success, Alphonsus never felt completely satisfied. He found solace and purpose in prayer and meditation, frequently visiting churches and shrines. These moments of introspection were fundamental in developing his religious vocation. Alphonsus felt a deep connection with God from a young age, which prepared him for the life of sacrifice and service to come. His family, though initially reluctant, eventually recognized the depth of his calling, supporting his spiritual journey, which would culminate in his sainthood. With a brilliant mind and tireless dedication, Alphonsus entered the legal profession, quickly standing out as a promising lawyer. He was known for his eloquence, insight, and impeccable ethics, winning complex cases and building a solid reputation. His career seemed bright and full of opportunities. At 19, he had already completed his double doctorate in civil and canon law. Alphonsus launched into practicing law with overwhelming passion. His success in the Naples courts was notorious, and he seemed destined for a brilliant and lucrative career. He was respected by his peers and feared by his adversaries. However, the lawyer's life brought moral and spiritual challenges. Alphonsus began to feel the weight of the injustices of the legal system and the futility of worldly disputes. He started questioning whether this was really his vocation or if he was being called to something greater. His conscience began to awaken to deeper spiritual matters. In 1723, at the age of 27, Alphonsus experienced a personal crisis that would change the course of his life. After losing an important case, he decided to abandon the practice of law and follow the divine call he felt in his heart. This was a moment of deep conversion and total surrender to God's will. He left the material world behind in search of a life of spirituality. Alphonsus' decision to leave the legal profession was a shock to his family and friends. Many did not understand his choice and even tried to dissuade him. However, Alphonsus was determined. He firmly believed that God had a plan for him and was willing to follow that path, no matter the sacrifices. He knew his true mission lay in serving God. Alphonsus renounced all his material possessions and decided to enter the priesthood, facing resistance from his family, especially his father. Nonetheless, Alphonsus was resolute. He firmly believed that God had a plan for him and was willing to follow that path, no matter the sacrifices. His unwavering faith guided him every step of the way. Alphonsus entered the seminary and began his theological studies with the same dedication he had shown in his legal career. He immersed himself in the sacred texts and the Church's doctrine, seeking a deeper understanding of the Christian faith and his role as God's servant. His determination and zeal were evident to everyone around him. During this period, Alphonsus experienced significant spiritual growth. He became known for his fervent devotion, humility, and compassion. His commitment to daily prayer and meditation strengthened his connection with God and prepared him for the priestly life. He found new purpose and joy in his spiritual journey. The decision to pursue the priesthood was accompanied by a sense of peace and purpose he had never felt before. Alphonsus knew he had found his true calling and was determined to dedicate his life to spreading the gospel and serving the needy. His conversion marked the beginning of a new phase in his life, full of challenges but also profound spiritual rewards. In 1726, Alphonsus was ordained a priest. He began his ministry in Naples, dedicating himself tirelessly to preaching, confession, and assisting the poor and sick. His compassion and pastoral dedication soon made him a prominent spiritual leader. Alphonsus was tireless in his desire to help others and bring souls back to God. Alphonsus was not content to merely celebrate masses. He actively sought out lost souls, preaching in public squares, visiting prisons, and offering spiritual comfort to the marginalized. His preaching style was simple but profoundly moving, reaching people from all walks of life. He had a special gift for communicating the faith in an accessible and inspiring way. He also stood out as a confessor, offering wise and compassionate advice. Alphonsus had a special gift for understanding people's inner struggles and guiding them back to the path of faith. His merciful and understanding approach contrasted with the rigidity of many of his contemporaries. He was known for his patience and empathy. During this period, Alphonsus began forming a small group of followers who shared his vision and passion for pastoral ministry. Together, they founded small missions and faith communities, bringing the gospel to Naples' most needy areas. His inspiring leadership created a spiritual renewal movement in the region. Alphonsus also began writing spiritual works to educate and inspire both lay people and clergy. His writings reflect his deep spirituality and his desire to make the faith accessible and relevant to all. He became a prolific author, addressing a wide range of theological and pastoral topics. Alphonsus' ministry was marked by a missionary fervor that led him to travel throughout the region, bringing the message of love and redemption to all he encountered. His tireless dedication to God's service and others became a living example of holiness in action. Alphonsus, with his heart full of compassion and his hands always ready to help, transformed the lives of countless people. In 1732, Alphonsus founded the Congregation of the Most Holy Redeemer, better known as the Redemptorists. The goal of this congregation was to preach the gospel to the poor and marginalized, especially in rural areas where access to spiritual guidance was scarce. Alphonsus wanted to bring hope and salvation to everyone, regardless of their social position or economic condition. Founding the Redemptorists was a significant challenge. Alphonsus faced resistance from both the local church and some civil authorities. Many questioned the need for a new congregation and doubted the effectiveness of his missionary method. However, Alphonsus remained firm in his vision, believing this was the path God had set for him. Alphonsus began gathering dedicated and fervent men who shared his passion for the mission. He trained them rigorously, emphasizing the importance of simplicity, humility, and devotion. The Redemptorists soon stood out for their practical and accessible approach, making the Christian message understandable and relevant to all. The Redemptorists' mission soon expanded, with Alphonsus and his companions traveling extensively to preach in remote villages and forgotten towns. They faced difficult conditions, but Alphonsus' dedication and enthusiasm inspired many to join the cause. The congregation grew rapidly, becoming a significant force in the spiritual revitalization of rural communities. Alphonsus also established clear guidelines for the Redemptorists' communal and spiritual life. He emphasized the importance of prayer, study, and service. His charismatic leadership and personal example of holiness and missionary zeal helped consolidate the congregation and ensure its continuity and growth. Today, the Redemptorists continue the mission started by Alphonsus, working in more than 70 countries around the world. Alphonsus' vision and legacy remain alive, inspiring generations of missionaries to follow his example of love, service, and dedication to spreading the gospel. Alphonsus' missionary life was marked by tireless dedication to preaching and pastoral service. He traveled extensively, often on foot or horseback, to reach distant and neglected communities. Alphonsus believed that everyone had the right to hear the message of salvation and made it his personal mission to ensure this happened. Alphonsus' preaching was simple but profoundly effective. He spoke the people's language, using everyday stories and examples to illustrate the teachings of the gospel. His direct and compassionate style touched people's hearts, leading many to conversion and spiritual renewal. Alphonsus did not just preach. He also listened to his audience's needs and concerns. In addition to preaching, Alphonsus dedicated himself to administering the sacraments, especially confession and the Eucharist. He spent long hours hearing confessions, offering spiritual guidance and comfort. His compassionate and non-judgmental approach attracted many who had strayed from the church, helping them find their way back to God. Alphonsus also established popular missions, a form of intensive spiritual retreats aimed at revitalizing the faith of communities. These missions included preachings, confessions, liturgical celebrations, and moments of communal prayer. They were transformative events that renewed the spirit of parishes and strengthened community bonds. Alphonsus' missionary work was exhausting and demanded great personal sacrifice. He often faced illnesses, fatigue, and opposition, but his unwavering faith and commitment to the mission kept him steadfast. Alphonsus saw his work as direct service to Christ, finding strength in prayer and the Eucharist to continue. Alphonsus' missionary life left a lasting impact on the communities he served. His compassion, humility, and zeal inspired many to follow his example, and his legacy of missionary service continues to be a model for the Church. Alphonsus showed that with faith and dedication, it is possible to bring the light of the gospel to the ends of the earth. In addition to his pastoral work, Alphonsus was a prolific writer, leaving a literary legacy that continues to influence Catholic theology and spirituality. His works cover a wide range of topics, from moral theology to spirituality and devotion. He wrote over 100 works, including books, treatises, and pastoral letters. One of Alphonsus' most significant contributions was in the area of moral theology. His work Moral Theology is considered one of the most important on the subject, presenting a balanced approach between rigor and mercy. He emphasized the importance of conscience and moral intention, offering a compassionate and practical perspective on ethical issues. Alphonsus also wrote extensively on spirituality and devotion. His book The Glories of Mary is one of the best known, highlighting the importance of Marian devotion in Christian life. Alphonsus saw Mary as a model of faith and obedience, encouraging the faithful to seek her intercession and example. Another notable work is The Practice of the Love of Jesus Christ, where Alphonsus explores the depth of divine love and the importance of personal union with Christ. He offers practical guidance for growing in love and devotion, highlighting prayer and meditation as paths to a deep spiritual life. In addition to these works, Alphonsus wrote numerous treatises on sacramental life, liturgy, and preaching. His writings are characterized by clarity and accessibility, making them popular among clergy and laity. He sought to make theology understandable and applicable, helping the faithful live according to the Church's teachings. Alphonsus' pastoral letters offer insight into his pastoral approach and spiritual leadership. He addressed practical and spiritual issues, offering guidance and encouragement to his congregation members and other religious leaders. His letters reveal a compassionate and attentive pastor deeply committed to his flock's spiritual well-being. Alphonsus Maria de Liguori's literary legacy continues to be a rich source of wisdom and inspiration. His works are studied and revered by theologians, priests, and lay people worldwide, keeping his contribution to Christian faith and morality alive. Alphonsus' life was not free from challenges and opposition. From the foundation of the Redemptorists, he faced significant resistance from both ecclesiastical and civil authorities. Many did not understand his missionary vision and saw his initiatives as a threat to the status quo. However, Alphonsus remained firm in his conviction and continued to fight for his mission. Resistance came not only from outside but also from within the congregation itself. There were internal conflicts, disagreements about the congregation's direction, and challenges to his leadership. Alphonsus dealt with these issues with patience and wisdom, always seeking the community's unity and well-being. He believed that with prayer and dialogue, any obstacle could be overcome. One of the most difficult moments was when Alphonsus faced a schism within the congregation of the Most Holy Redeemer. Some members wanted to adopt a different, stricter approach, while Alphonsus defended a balanced approach focused on mercy. This conflict led to the expulsion of some members, but Alphonsus remained resolute in his vision. In addition to internal conflicts, Alphonsus also faced opposition from other religious orders and some ecclesiastical authorities who saw his work as a threat. He was accused of heresy, and his works were closely scrutinized. Despite these accusations, Alphonsus maintained his faith and trust in God, knowing he was on the right path. Opposition also manifested in the form of physical and health challenges. Alphonsus suffered from severe arthritis, which often left him incapacitated. However, he never allowed his physical condition to prevent him from fulfilling his mission. Even amid pain, he continued to preach, write, and serve others. Through all these trials, Alphonsus demonstrated unwavering faith and iron determination. He saw each challenge as an opportunity to grow spiritually and trust God even more. His perseverance in the face of adversity is a powerful testimony to his holiness and commitment to the divine mission. Alphonsus' moral theology is one of the most striking aspects of his legacy. He firmly believed in the importance of conscience and the centrality of mercy in Christian life. His approach to moral theology was balanced, combining adherence to the Church's principles with a deep compassion and understanding of human weaknesses. Alphonsus argued that morality should not be seen as a rigid set of rules but as a path to fully live God's love. He emphasized that each person's conscience is sacred and must be respected. Alphonsus believed that forming a right and well-informed conscience was crucial to a morally integral life. One of his main objectives was to make moral theology accessible and practical. He wrote extensively about everyday moral issues, offering clear and compassionate guidance. His work Moral Theology exemplifies this, addressing complex topics in a way that theologians and lay people alike can understand and apply in their lives. Defending mercy was central to his teachings. Alphonsus believed that God is infinitely merciful and that Christians should reflect this mercy in their lives. He criticized rigid moralistic approaches that did not consider human frailty and the need for compassion and forgiveness. Alphonsus also emphasized the importance of intention in moral actions. He taught that the motivation behind an action is crucial in determining its morality. This focus on intention and mercy offered a more human and comprehensive view of morality, attracting many to his teachings. In his later years, Alphonsus' health deteriorated significantly. He suffered from severe arthritis, often leaving him bedridden and in constant pain. Despite these physical difficulties, Alphonsus continued to write, preach, and lead his congregation, demonstrating unwavering faith and determination. Chronic pain made daily activities a monumental challenge. Alphonsus often needed help to move and perform basic tasks. However, he never allowed his physical condition to prevent him from fulfilling his mission. His dedication to pastoral work and writing remained unaltered even when his body failed. During these years of suffering, Alphonsus found comfort in prayer and the Eucharist. He spent long hours in meditation, seeking strength and solace in his faith. These moments of intimacy with God were a constant source of spiritual renewal, allowing him to continue his work with vigor and passion. Alphonsus also became a source of inspiration to those around him. His ability to endure pain with grace and faith deeply touched all who knew him. He offered words of encouragement and hope to others who suffered, showing that true strength comes from unwavering faith in God. Despite his physical limitations, Alphonsus continued to exercise effective leadership within the congregation. He guided his followers, wrote pastoral letters, and oversaw the expansion of the Redemptorist missions. His mind remained clear and sharp, and he used every available moment to advance the congregation's mission. Alphonsus died on August 1, 1787, at the age of 90. His death marked the end of an extraordinary life dedicated to the service of God and others. However, his legacy of compassion, mercy, and dedication continues to live on through the Redemptorists and the many lives he touched with his faith and example. After Alphonsus' death, his legacy began to spread rapidly. His impact on the Church and the lives of countless people was immense, and his example of holiness inspired generations. In recognition of his life and work, Alphonsus Maria de Liguori was canonized in 1839 by Pope Gregory XVI. Alphonsus' canonization was an official recognition of his sanctity and his contribution to the Church. It celebrated his life of tireless service, deep spirituality, and dedication to the pastoral mission. Alphonsus was recognized not only as a saint but also as a model for all Christians, especially priests and missionaries. In 1871, Alphonsus was declared a Doctor of the Church by Pope Pius IX, a title given to a few saints whose works and teachings have had a profound and lasting impact on the Church's theology and doctrine. This recognition highlighted the importance of his contributions to moral theology and Christian spirituality. Alphonsus' influence extended beyond his canonization. His works continued to be studied and revered by theologians, priests, and lay people worldwide. His writings on moral theology, spirituality, and Marian devotion became pillars of Catholic literature, offering guidance and inspiration to generations. Alphonsus also left a lasting legacy through the Redemptorists. The congregation he founded grew and spread worldwide, continuing the mission of preaching the gospel to the poor and marginalized. The Redemptorists keep Alphonsus' vision alive, working in more than 70 countries and touching countless lives with their message of mercy and compassion. Alphonsus' moral theology also left a lasting impact. His balanced and compassionate approach continues to influence how the Church deals with moral and ethical issues. Contemporary theologians often refer to his writings for guidance on how to apply Christian moral principles in complex situations. In addition to his influence on the Catholic Church, Alphonsus is also recognized for his contribution to Christian spirituality in general. His works are read by Christians of various denominations, who find in his writings a source of inspiration and wisdom. Alphonsus is seen as a model of devotional life and dedicated service. In 1950, Pope Pius XII declared Alphonsus the patron saint of confessors and moral theologians, highlighting his continued importance to the sacramental practice and moral theology of the Church. This recognition underscores the enduring relevance of his contributions to Christian faith and the formation of consciences. Alphonsus Maria de Liguori's influence is truly global and timeless. His life and work continue to inspire people from all walks of life to seek deep faith, live with compassion, and serve others with dedication and love. Alphonsus left a legacy that transcends generations and borders, touching hearts and minds worldwide. Saint Alphonsus Maria de Liguori is remembered not only for his holiness but also for his profound humanity. His life is a testimony to how divine grace can transform an ordinary person into a powerful instrument of God. Alphonsus faced challenges, doubts, and personal crises, but always sought God's will with humility and faith. Alphonsus' humanity is evident in his inner struggles and his capacity for compassion for others' weaknesses. He never placed himself above the people he served. Instead, he saw himself as a humble servant called to share God's love and mercy. His empathy and understanding of human struggles made him a beloved confessor and pastor. Alphonsus also showed that holiness is not synonymous with perfection but with a constant search for God. He made mistakes and faced failures but always rose with renewed determination. His life reminds us that holiness is a journey marked by growth, repentance, and unwavering trust in divine mercy. Additionally, Alphonsus exemplified the importance of prayer and meditation in Christian life. He found strength and inspiration in intimacy with God, and this deep relationship sustained his mission and ministry. Alphonsus' prayer life invites us all to seek a deeper connection with God in our own spiritual journeys. Alphonsus also taught that true holiness manifests in love and service to others. He dedicated his life to serving the poor, the sick, and the marginalized, showing that love for God must be expressed through love for our neighbor. His life is a powerful reminder that holiness is found in charity and compassion. Alphonsus Maria de Liguori's life is a testimony to the transformation possible when we wholly surrender to God. He shows us that regardless of our circumstances or challenges, we can live a life of purpose and impact, guided by divine love and the pursuit of truth. The story of this great saint is a journey of faith, sacrifice, and dedication. From a brilliant lawyer to a devoted priest and founder of the Redemptorists, his life was marked by a constant search for God and service to others. Alphonsus showed that true greatness lies in listening to the heart's call and acting with courage and faith. Today, we celebrate the life and legacy of Saint Alphonsus Maria de Liguori, a saint whose life continues to illuminate the path for many. His story is proof of the transforming power of faith and divine mercy. May we follow his example and seek to live a life of service, compassion, and devotion to God. May the life of Saint Alphonsus Maria de Liguori inspire us all to seek holiness in our journey, trusting in God's grace and dedicating ourselves to serving others. His legacy is a living testimony that with faith and courage, we can transform the world around us. Saint Alphonsus Maria de Liguori, pray for us.